Person who has been to games before, we'll do a few talks about. We'll talk about the facility here and how they plan to run it. Andrew?
Hi folks, nice to have you here. As you can see, we've got four squash courts, a lounge, we've got a stringing machine, we've got free weights, gym downstairs, and then if you just look behind you, we've got an area where your athletes can warm up before they go on court. The lounge is air conditioned. The squash courts are not. So you may want to warn your teams when they're coming over here that could be quite hot. We're at the stage here for squash. We kind of feel like we're ready to host. We've got our officials already trained. We've brought in a facilitator through a grant to train our officials locally. We're fortunate enough to have enough expertise on the island. What we are going to do is to encourage the islands that are competing to also have some officials so that we can keep things neutral if that's a concern for any islands. We've made a few edits to the bylaws, of which they've been agreed on by the technical committee, so I believe they'll be looked at the AGM. The Bermuda Squash Rackets Association hosts at least 12 events a year, so we're used to going through all of this stuff, and this is gonna be a big deal for our association. As I said, we're looking forward to it. Our club members are looking forward to it. And please, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them here. If any questions come up about what's available with the facility, by all means, send an email through to the executive or to the Bermuda Squash Rackets Association.
Now, Andrew, sadly, you're not going to be here next year. Unfortunately, we're losing Andrew, which is a great shame because he was in the Isle of Wight. Is it Patrick that's going to take over from you? Or,
Yeah, Patrick's our squash director. He's been here for 7 years, and I mean, he was a part of hosting the World Open, which is a professional squash event that Bermuda Squash Rackets Association has held. So he's used to these large events. We also have, because we've hosted these professional events before, we've got a lot of expertise in our volunteers. So if you, again, feel free to have a look at the facility. The change rooms are downstairs. As I said, the workout area is, we've got 2 levels. One is just behind you, and then you can go down the stairs to see the other part. Okay? I'm available for any questions.
he's available for lessons right now.
That's right.
Just come from one, by the way.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the heat a little bit because it's probably different conditions. I mean, what else can you say apart from that? It's hard. Is there different conditions on balls and?
Yeah, I think what your athletes will find is that the ball will obviously be hotter, and it's probably going to bounce a little bit higher than the courts that they played on in the Isle of Wight. I mean, simple things. It's drinking lots of water before you play. Your coaches will know all of the tactics to train for hot courts. The strategy changes a little bit, but I mean, all of the teams that were at the Isle of Wight, the level of squash players that compete in these games are quite good, and they all have experience in those areas.
I see you've just got the one show court really there.
Yeah.
With the... I just said there's just the one show court.
Yeah.
And that would probably be where the final matches
Yeah.
are played.
That's right, and it'll you can sit probably 100 spectators, and then we also have a feed to this TV behind you, so that you can see the match while you're sitting at the bar.
The prices are very reasonable at the bar.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And you'll have somebody here for do restringing all the time, did you say?
Yeah.
During the event.
Yeah.
In the event, yep. Okay. Would he be able to do, I'm just,
Yeah,
like,
he's able
because I don't know about tennis or badminton, could they do tennis and badminton strings, or is it just
Probably
squash?
not. Probably not. I'd assume that those other sports would have something at their venue.
Yeah.
They are.
They are, yeah.
Certainly tennis and I'm sure badminton as well. So they're going to have that at their front. This is only going
I
to
know,
be the squad.
yeah, it was the badminton I was worried about.
Maybe. We'll look at that. We'll do. Any other questions from Andrew? I know it's been a long day. Thank you everybody for not just this event, for